All right, Frankie Familia. It's been a couple of days since the Jets took a drubbing on Saturday by the Gigantes. It was 7-6 at the half, but still, we took a drubbing. Our Scrubbinos were worse than their Scrubbinos, and that's the way it goes. And we got beaten pretty badly. But it's been a couple of days, and I have some things that nobody's talking about. And this is why you come to FSBN, the Frankie Sports Programming Network, because I have information. El Francorino has information for you that you're not going to get anywhere else because nobody does drive charts the way I do. Nobody keeps track of the information. Nobody does nothing like old Frankie. And that's why I can give you information that you can't get anywhere else, which is why you should subscribe to the channel, like the video, and also join up to the membership club so you can get all the playbooks and the rule book and everything else that you get access to. Now, what are we talking about here? Well, a couple of thoughts. Offensively, there's a couple of things we're keeping track of that we want to know about this offense. Now, it may work out with Justin Fields. It may not. As of right now, I'm not feeling very optimistic, but it could work out with Justin. We got to see. We got to have the whole season play out before we know. But Tanner Engstrom, on the other hand, is probably even more important because whether it's Justin or somebody else, the style, the play style, the way we call plays in our playbook and what we do, that's on Tanner, right? And all the other coaches and so forth. And so, what can we glean so far from the two playoff games? One thing, playoff games, preseason games, playoffs. We're not in no playoffs, and we're not probably going to the playoffs this year. But nonetheless, a couple of things that we want to keep track of that nobody else is talking about. Against the Giants, for example, got my spreadsheet right here. Not going to show it to you because it's proprietary and you don't want to see a spreadsheet anyway. Let's be honest. But motion, how much motion are we doing? Now, if you remember last year, Aaron Rodgers didn't like motion. He wanted everything set so he could get a picture in his mind and figure out what was going on. And by the time he was done figuring all that out, the play clock had expired and we got a penalty. So that wasn't good. But nonetheless, it's very unusual nowadays, to have a very static offense with no motion. So how would this offense, with Tanner Engstrand and Justin Fields and Adrian Martinez and Brady Cookoff, whatever, hey, are they going to have a lot of motion? Well, against the Giants, we tracked it 62%. Boom. How about that? 62% of the plays we ran, I tracked 42 plays overall. I didn't keep going in the second half. That gets ridiculous in these preseason games. But in the first half, basically 62% of the plays we ran had motion, some kind of motion. Short motion, crosser motion, some kind of motion. Pre-snap motion. That's big. That is big. That's better. It doesn't necessarily mean your offense is going to be better, but it's more in line with the way modern offenses run. They want motion. Kind of lets you see different things that the defense is doing. So that's a plus. Number two, we were in the shotgun 60% of the time against the Giants. That, I'm not sure what that really means. I'm tracking it. We'll do a comparison over time. RPO percent, 0. So the other thing that we speculated over the summertime was that, of course, this is going to be an RPO-heavy offense, isn't it? And if you remember, I took a look at the Steelers' offense last year for the first 6 games where Justin was the QB, and they only ran RPOs about 5% of the time. So I said, oh, well, they made a mistake. Justin was upset with them. He's coming here, and we're going to do 25 to 30% or something. Well, so far, 0. So either, now we'll have to watch it. Either we're going to do that in the regular season, and we don't want to give that away. We want teams maybe thinking, oh, I guess they're not going to run too many RPOs. Look, they didn't run any in the preseason. And then we're going to hit them with it in the regular season. Or what the quote from our coach, Aaron Glenn, meant when he said, we're going to let Justin play quarterback. Nobody followed up and asked him what that meant because our beat reporters are morons, and that wouldn't make a lot of headlines or get people to clickety click on it. So nobody asked him. But what that could mean is we're letting him play quarterback, meaning we're not going to do. We promised him for him to come here. We promised him we're not going to run RPO heavy because Justin maybe wants to prove that he can be a pocket passer and all this. Well, if that's the case, I think personally it's a mistake. But we'll have to see how it works out, and that's what it could mean, and that would be my fear. And I don't think that's going to work. I don't think Justin is ready for that now. I think it's dumb. I think what you should do is run a 25 to 30% RPO offense now, make it easy for him, get him comfortable, get some wins under the belt, get things going in the right direction, and then slowly and surely you could, change it up and mix it up as the season goes on. That's what I would do, but let's see what they do, and then let's see what the result is. We'll be tracking it. Now, on defense, the interesting thing is I've been talking about the high percentage of base that we're in. For example, against the Giants, 58% base. Base. How low can you go? Now, why is that important? It's important for a couple of reasons. Number one, that's a very high percentage for anybody. Number two, the Detroit Lions were at 44% last year. That's where Glenn came from, and that led the league. Very high. We're continuing that. But then I took a closer look at it also. And how it's working out is anytime there's a base, anytime we're in base, it's because the other team's in heavy. So this did not happen under Saleh and Ulbrich. Remember, Saleh, Ulbrich were 75, 80% nickel. Even at times, to get that high, you have to at times be playing nickel against heavy personnel. You don't want to do that. That means 12 personnel, 21 personnel groupings. Why would you do that? I don't know. They had a lot of confidence in Michael Carter to be a linebacker and a nickel corner and a safety and everything. That's probably why he got hurt last year. They asked him to do things that he shouldn't be doing, that a linebacker should be doing. But this crew, it was 100%. Like when the other team is heavy, I tracked this against the Giants. Every time the Giants were in 12, they didn't use 21. I think maybe once. But anytime they were in 12 or 21, we were in base. Every time they were in 11, we were in nickel. That tracks. That's way more logical to do. That just, especially if you have fast linebackers like we do. Sherwood and Quincy are very fast, and Jamin Davis, kind of fast-ish. So we should be able to track it. I mean, basically, Quincy and Sherwood should be able to cover tight ends, running backs, green dogging, you name it, whatever they got to do, they should be able to handle it. And if that's the case, then you don't need Michael Carter in there against tight ends and bigger personnel packages where they can just block him out of existence if they want to run out of those heavy packages. So this is very good. This is a very good sign. Not only is it just we're high base percentage, there's a reason why, and it's because we're corresponding our defense exactly to the personnel's as we should. If they're heavy, we should be base. It's just basic logic. If they're in 11, then we should be a nickel. That's it. The only time you should see, and the way to track it, if you're watching on your little television out there, you look at Michael Carter. Is he in the game or not? Look for number 30. If he's in the game, we're in nickel, right? Unless somebody's gotten hurt or something weird's happened. And that means, and then you should look, and then there should be 3 wide receivers sitting there at the line of scrimmage, because that's the only time that Michael Carter is in the game. And you could play games with big nickel and all this stuff, and they tried that with Ashton Davis and, bringing a third safety in instead of Michael Carter. That didn't work too good either. We barely had 2 safeties, let alone 3, But, you could do that if you're the Ravens, like Kyle Hamilton's rookie year, and they had him coming in special situations. Fine, that's totally different. But nonetheless, it seems like the trend, and this should continue into the regular season. I think this kind of a logic, when they're heavy, we're heavy. When they're light, we're light. It makes sense. Go figure. Now let's track it and see how we do over time. If you think about our defense against the Giants, it was really that one play, really. We gave up that 80-yard bomb that always looks terrible. It was 80-yard bomb. That's no good. But that's really the only good thing they did. They had a couple of good runs in there, but the defense didn't give up anything else until the second half. They scored that touchdown, and that was it for the first half. So, and then again, the second half was the Battle of the Bums, and they won the Battle of the Bums for sure. But if you think about it, the defense played pretty good, other than that one play. So, so there you go. A couple of things to look at. Unique things only Frankie's going to tell you. Tell me if there's any other Jet content creators talking about RPO percentage, motion percentage, shotgun percentage, base and nickel percentage, and what the other team is doing when we go base and nickel. Tell me. I don't know. Maybe there's lots of people talking about it. I don't know. I don't watch other content creators. Maybe everybody's talking about this. Let me know in the comment section down below. If you're new here, please subscribe. Trying to get up to 1,000 subscribers. We're about 80% of the way there, so we'd appreciate your help with that. And with that being said, I'll see you next time.